Oh, it hasn't started yet, have we? We started.
Stand and say pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm even saying it, but I'm looking in the wrong direction.
Wednesday, Thursday. That's all we have. We have Wednesday and Thursday.
For minutes?
For minutes, yeah.
Yes.
Wednesday was
25.
yeah. So make a motion to accept the Wednesday, January 24th minutes.
Second.
25th.
24th first.
24th.
We got
Wednesday.
two. Wednesday, 24th. Get on the right page.
You second it. All those in favor? All right. Everybody okay with this one? Thursdays?
Yes.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of Thursday, January 25th.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Anything else? See, Chip, we do need Kona. Because he says it said it since we've been elected, it said that.
It has though, right, Jenny? I mean, it's been saying that for a
Probably
while.
has,
Yeah.
Well, the other day it cropped out and then today it's working fine again.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I'm
Well, I
not.
printed like 70 pages last night too, and it was
Yeah,
fine.
and it was fine. I don't know,
Yeah,
So,
okay.
but I'd rather not run out.
no, that's
I
fine. You can have
agree.
one on hand until,
I
yeah,
agree
that's fine.
with you.
That's fine.
You should always have one.
Yeah, I did look at generics, but I mean, I don't know whether they have as much ink in them and stuff. I mean, these things are supposed to be good for like 10,000 pages.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
HP one, so it's probably worth,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah.
rather than taking a chance and
Yeah,
having it go out early, so.
Do you have anything else?
just the stuff I gave you. You know.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the cemetery and the JNS, which is, I mean, the only thing is, I'd say we wanna look at the agreement.
Mhm.
And make sure we throw some speed into it to make sure we
Mhm.
still
Mhm.
agree with it,
I agree.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you know, and I mean, probably the cost is okay, I think they're, you know, so I mean, I'm not against doing it, but I wanna make sure.
Yep. So we can all can you make us all a copy of that?
So, of the,
When you, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we
this is
can
your,
look at
this
it.
is your copy, James? Yeah, so here, I'll give that back to you,
So we can have a copy and we can read it and see if we like it.
and we'll review that one.
Mhm.
Because was that general in town? Was that what that one was?
That was
This is
cemeteries.
cemetery.
This is cemeteries,
That was all the small cemeteries and stuff, yeah.
I believe so.
Okay,
Right, and is that, did they do Prospect Hill too, or no?
no, that was somebody different.
So we had three
That's-
different people?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, we probably ought to do that in executive right at the end. I was thinking about, I want to talk about dedication of the town report as well as Spirit of America.
Mhm.
But we probably ought to do that executive session at the end.
Yeah, so we don't,
At the
so
tail end.
people don't know.
And what else do we have? What was that? This is so easy. So this food did everybody get this food sovereignty, or was that just for me?
No, I gave them those.
What are we doing?
So this is an email from Mary Beth Stocking regarding food sovereignty. Is that one?
I do,
Yep.
okay.
So, and actually, on the election day in November, I had talked to her, and
okay.
so, I think we had mentioned, So basically, it's basically food sovereignty, and the state did a brand new bill that allowed towns to do it, and blah blah blah, and that's what she made a copy of that. And so I told her that I would bring it up to the board if the board was willing to put that on the ballot, rather than making them go out and get signatures. So I'm not against putting that out there. I mean, again, there's food sovereignty is kind of one of those where you have to get, you don't have to go stuff with the state, and you can sell farm, you can sell your eggs to people, you can get as having your own local control. The only issue that I have is and I looked into it, is that, and she references a template ordinance down below, but that was done 4 or 5 years ago, before Maine's bill passed.
Okay,
So in a lot of regards, it's not up to date.
okay.
So, it really should be.
Is there a newer one out there?
No, and I asked our legal, I asked, is there somebody that's maybe is another town? I don't want to.
Didn't some towns vote on this in June?
Well, they did, but it was, but they voted on previous before our bill passed.
Okay, because.
So now you want to
We
reference
voted
our
on
bill.
some- yeah,
And
we
so I don't
voted
want to spend a ton of money in legal. It's
No.
because it's, a lot of these things, there's a lot of legal review to begin with, but once everybody does it, then you can just copy and paste theirs into ours.
Okay, yeah,
So-
absolutely.
So that's the thing is, this may help, this template may help, but I think it needs to be revised. So, I mean, I thought that I would reach out to her and let her know that, I mean, are you guys okay with putting a food sovereignty on the
Yeah.
ballot, let people vote on it?
Absolutely, I am.
Okay. So without making her go and get signatures?
No, yeah, no.
So, but we just need an ordinance to do that. I mean, we don't have a ton of time left.
Well, she said, I believe at the last check, there are 11 towns who have already passed the ordinance.
Well,
But
that
at
was
the
this old
Okay.
template, because they were ahead of the state.
Yeah,
So they were ahead of the state trying to get
yeah,
them to do that. So,
Yeah.
I'll reach out to say, but we'll
Yeah.
look at it more, and we'll do it now.
Yeah.
Do this.
okay, yeah. We voted on something, but I don't, what the heck, I don't know what it was, to be honest with you. It's,
So that's that, I guess.
okay.
Shall we move into, looks like people are already showing up, or
Look at all these little
more people coming?
troopers.
Yep, we have more people coming, so.
They're
Hi, guys.
outside.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
I feel like I'm in a fishbowl.
Yeah. How's it feel?
That's all I really have, other than we need to start thinking about bids, paving bids, mowing bids, rather than the last minute. I think if we get them out early, we get,
Yeah, can we get the old ones?
so
Can you get the old ones, the listener? Okay,
maybe for next
yeah,
week.
a list, so we can look at them and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
And we can check, we used to have a grading bid at times. I don't know, we'll have to check with Tommy whether he thinks
a
that makes
grading
sense.
bid, we
To
do.
grade, yeah. We've done it in the past, we didn't last year. And then roadside mowing, again, we put that out early, we might get somebody. So that's all I have,
Yeah.
really.
Okay.
I didn't get any complaints on the mowing
But
I got some of the year before.
You're the complaint man. You're the complaint man.
in preparation, I might as well do these appointments, we might as well make motions for these appointments now, so, I make a motion to appoint Stephen S. Merrill as Lebanon Fire and EMS Chief.
I'll second it. Is
I
that
think,
where, did you,
Effective until dismissed.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Unanimous.
of course it is.
Landslide.
Oh, landslide. Oh, Paul, here. we gotta have this.
Yeah, I got for.
We need to see
And
it.
then, I make a motion to appoint Stephen S. Merrill as EMA Director, effective today until June 30th of 18.
I'll second it.
Second.
Before I forget, Steve, if you wanna get paid, you need to see Jordan tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's my little yellow sticky. So we can do all that paperwork and stuff.
Alright, kind of waiting until 5:30, because that's kind of what time we told everybody, so,
You guys are okay, aren't you? To swear, so we can swear in our brand new fire chief? And then we'll get to you guys and we can talk.
Sounds good.
That sound like a plan? Alright, great.
Mind if I won't clear? Just by this whole thing, because that way it frees up the
Where are you gonna win, John? Not yet. Musical chairs, hurry up
Yeah.
before the chairs are,
Yeah,
squeeze them all in.
yeah.
Come on in, we got more room in here.
Yeah.
You can squeeze them all in.
Can I just have everybody sign in too as you come in? There's this clipboard right there. Pass it around. Thank you.
You guys can walk down here.
Yeah, come on, yeah.
You gotta be.
You guys can sit at the big table if you want, I don't care. You got chairs.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to steal it.
That's right. Cut the wall
The
and you
tables
bought
on,
this
the
table.
tables on, I mean, the videos on. Just remind me.
I'll let them do that, shall I say? So thank you all for coming. Selectmen get a bunch of various jobs. Today is actually one of those fun days we get to swear in our new chief and we get to meet with the Boy Scouts. And so there's some days like this that we look forward to. I can always tell my age when I start getting emotional, but it's I'm really happy that we're going to be swearing in a new fire chief here. I have a strong belief that this guy can lead the town forward. And you know, and we have a ton of faith in him that he can get there. He's got the qualifications to do it. He's got the leadership skills to do it, and he's got the personality to do it. And you really need all of those things to, as we know, Lebanon is not the easiest town in the world. You really need all those factors to make it work, and I really believe he's going to make it work well. And I speak for the entire board when I say that. So, Dale, if you could come on in and you got your Bible that you can swear in on this girl.
Right.
Yeah, left hand on the Bible, please. And raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Stephen Merrill,
I, Stephen Merrill,
do swear
do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of this state,
so
long as I shall continue
long as I shall continue
a citizen thereof.
a citizen thereof.
I, Stephen Merrill,
I, Stephen Merrill,
do swear that I will faithfully
do swear that I will faithfully
discharge to the best of my abilities
discharge to the best of my abilities
the duties incumbent on me
as
as Lebanon EMA Director
the Lebanon EMA Director
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
I, Stephen Merrill, do swear
I, Stephen Merrill, do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that I will
States
support the Constitution of the United States
and of this state,
so
long as I shall continue
long as I shall continue
a citizen thereof.
a citizen thereof.
I, Stephen Merrill,
I, Stephen Merrill,
do swear
do swear
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
to the best of my
to
abilities
the best of my abilities
the duties incumbent on me
the duties incumbent on me
as Lebanon Fire and EMS Chief
as Lebanon Fire and EMS Chief
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chief.
Let me get some of the signatures too. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I've never done this before as outgoing chief. As outgoing interim chief, do you want to have anything to say?
Welcome to the town of Lebanon.
Thank you.
We have 110% support of this department moving forward. Thank you for coming and helping us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Floor is yours if you want it.
Thank you to the Selectmen and the interview process. I look forward to this venture. I look forward to leading you guys into a better future and moving forward.
Great, thank you. So we got, you can hang out for we talk to the Boy Scouts if you want.
Thank you very much again.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Take care. I'll see you guys around.
Yep.
Thanks. Thank you.
Welcome aboard again.
Thank you for coming, guys.
Where do you want us to put, like, board, where do you think we should put this board?
Wherever you'd like. You wanna put it on the table? Is that something you want us to look at? Yeah, you can put it there and just face it this way if that's what you wanna do. There you go. Awesome. Oh. Oh, sure.
Okay. Hello, we are the Arrow of Light Scouts from Cub Scout Pack 369. My name is Connor McKenzie.
I'm Ethan Stokes.
I'm Camden Bruce. My name's Connor Boucher. We have been working on our Building a Better World pin. One of our requirements for this pin was to meet with a government leader in town and discuss an issue facing our town. We met with State Representative Karen Gersh in December. She stated that it was brought to her attention that Lebanon was looking for ideas from kids as to what they would like to see for activities in town. We talked among ourselves and we polled some other kids in town, and these are the most popular ideas we had.
This is our idea for a town community center in Lebanon. Our first idea was to have a place where kids can go after school. So we thought about a space for homework and arts and crafts. That includes a space for charging phones and computers when people are not using them. There would also be a cafe with snacks and meals for sale. Fundraising groups could work there to make money. We also think a game center with arcade games, pool tables, and more. Another thought would be an area with a stage for shows and award ceremonies. We also think a gym with a climbing wall and weights for lifting would be important too. Lastly, we also have an idea for an adult lounge and spa.
Shit, I wonder who gave you guys that idea.
If an indoor space would not work, an outdoor community space would be great too. It could have space for seasonal activities such as ice skating and sledding or a community garden. This is our community center idea. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
I think that's a great idea. You have a lot of good ideas.
I will let you know that some of those ideas I think we're actually looking right now at possibly trying to find a place where we can have a park with an outdoor skating rink.
Yeah.
And so, and part of that skating rink is essentially a concrete platform with walls that would then come down during the off season. And so whether you do little ramps like that are on your skate park on that concrete surface, or plus you can then have it, if you want to have like an outdoor concert, you have a platform where they can be. So we're actually looking at that and trying to find areas where we might be able to do that, on town land.
And this chart was made by our other member, Braden Blanchett. He couldn't be here with us tonight. He was busy.
And I know there's been talk about the old town hall up here on Center Road, and about turning that into a community center. So that might also be able to handle some of your other ideas of whether it be, an area where you do homework or craft areas, or, I'm not sure we could probably get an arcade in there, but who knows? Maybe a pool table in the base, maybe a pool table down the basement or something. I don't know. So I know that certainly has been on people's minds as far as trying to turn that place into a community center. So no, all great ideas.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Good job. Awesome job.
Giving us
Good
the
job.
opportunity to
Can
do
we
this.
keep this with them so they can?
I do have to say that this is one of the best things that these boys have done, and they worked very hard on it, so
Great.
thank you for giving us the
Great.
opportunity to come and
Absolutely.
do
Do you want to
this.
keep this so we
Appreciate it.
can?
Sure. Do you mind if we, maybe we'll put it, do we have could we,
Oh, sorry.
Lori,
Jared, I didn't mean to knock you over.
is that something we could put out like on a table out in the,
Sure, why not? Yeah.
I think we could find a
I
place
mean,
to
the
put it out
community
here on one of the tables out there. We'll find a place to put it for a while.
Well, thank you very much.
Put that back
Have
up.
a great night.
Yeah, we're gonna take a picture with all of you, so stay here. Okay.
Well, right there is good.
We wanna take a picture with all of
With
you.
all the scouts.
Oh.
You too, Paul.
Yeah, you matter. Yeah. If the scout leader wants to come too, you can, Theo.
Good job. Thanks.
I'd stand behind it, but I can't.
Okay, ready?
I'm sorry.
Guys, 2 thumbs up. Ready? There we go. One more, just in case somebody's eyeballs were closed. Good. Thank you.
Good job. Awesome
guys.
job.
Great presentation too.
Yeah, we'll put this on somewhere.
So just leave it on the table.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Tell you to. Want to keep this up here?
Yeah, we'll have it right there. Awesome.
Sanford's gonna ice skate park together now.
Huh?
Sanford's got a nice skating park now, so.
Do they?
Where?
They put,
Where is it?
you know where the city hall is, right?
Yeah.
Sanford, right across, where they always do the lighting of the tree and everything. They just put this like
That's
portable.
what, they were doing something there and that's what they did?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
what a good
that's-
idea, that's a good place for
It's a
it.
skating park, so they just started. So if you want to check out anything or ask them about it, Robert.
Yeah.
Is it a portable one type of thing, or is it on the grass that they?
It's on the grass. So
Yeah. So, see, I'm looking. I know you can do that, and people put it in their backyards. If it's flat, they can get away with it. But I wanted to multi-purpose that spot. So I want to do a park with.
And I think that's a great idea for you.
A nice big flat cement platform.
Yeah, I've seen that in a lot of places.
And I can talk
during
to
the off
Sherry
season.
or whatever and get
Yeah.
you information. She's the one that kind of set it up and purchased it
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah.
They did well, very well.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Bye, Jared, thanks. The community garden, that's something we probably could do.
Yeah.
Soon, sooner than later, that's a great idea. A lot of towns do that. They have a big spot and, yeah. That's a good idea. What a nice idea. Awesome. I know, we need a community center badly, which we already knew that, so. Just saying. Awesome, good
Is
job.
anybody behind there? I can't see.
No,
Okay.
no. No.
Alright.
Awesome job.
We have no more paperwork.
Nope, that was it.
Alright. We got that business is done.
Sorry.
No public participation.
I don't see anybody, so there's
Good.
nobody under the table either.
So so the food summary. I'll get back to Mary. I'll leave. Can you forward me that email? Did you forward it already? Okay. I'll reach out to her.
Yeah, but she,
that we're in
yeah,
favor of putting it on there, but I need.
yeah,
They're gonna have to work on getting one with the current bill in place and
Yeah.
modified.
yeah, 'cause I think that's a great idea.
You know, she's got certain questions. I can reach out to MMA, so it doesn't cost us anything. But MMA is not gonna do the entire. They're not gonna draft it for us.
They don't have one already, do they? Or
No.
maybe somebody, no, but,
No, because see, this one here is the localfoolrules.org. So that's an organization that was that was promoting it. So that's why
Yeah.
they put it together for towns if
Yeah.
they wanted to do that. But that doesn't necessarily coincide with the
Yeah.
bill that we have.
No, I think that's a
that's
great
the
idea.
problem. So
I'm just thinking of that.
oh,
I was just thinking, what a good idea.
I just noticed this little DEP thing. I also had Fisk. Do you notice that?
No.
The one from the DEP about shoreline zoning?
Okay,
So we need to change somewhere, either that or somewhere, there's a misspelling somewhere. You might wanna check the website or something.
I'm pretty sure. I'll check it.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
yeah,
What's we got? Be a
Good.
quick one.
yeah,
I mean, budgets, I think we're okay for budgets. Paul had mentioned, we probably ought to look at, even though they're going straight to the budget committee, we probably ought to have our own ideas on roads and fire.
well, yeah,
Because then again, we're gonna,
'cause we don't even see it, I don't
because
even know.
we haven't seen it, I mean, it's done.
Yeah,
I have a copy of it, but I mean, Tommy did it, so I mean, I have my own thoughts, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, so when they do it and they say, oh, we think we ought to have this number, at least
no,
we
that's,
can,
no, I agree.
we can
Yeah.
agree with
Yeah.
that. So I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's just the three of us looking at them, it's not with them.
Yep, Yeah.
But I mean, we probably ought to,
good
Because-
idea, Paul.
well, those are the last two budgets, and that way,
Yeah,
otherwise,
and they're
otherwise,
pretty
if,
massive.
and otherwise, then we have to meet afterwards to figure it out, and so we, we might as well
Yes,
just
no,
think about it ahead of time.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
so we have time. I mean, we can do that maybe next, what's on our agenda for next week?
We don't have anything yet for next week.
So can you put that down, then we can review, road and fire budget? Just internal selectmen review.
But they're both done? Well,
Yeah.
the fire one, they might be,
The fire one, again, I may have to sit down with now both of them to go through it.
Cause he might have other ideas or.
Well, if we go through the fire, maybe the chief can be here.
Yeah, I mean, I had just done it with them so he can, cause Chief Matthews had never done it before.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of worked
Yeah.
through the process so that
Yeah.
he could then do it.
Yeah.
Which I can then do with, the new chief.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, I can bring it to us so that this is what their budget is, but it's
Okay.
not, you know, that way
Yeah,
he's
cause
still,
when's theirs?
that way he's still
When's
presenting the
theirs?
budget.
The
They're,
21st or something?
yes,
No.
no, 14th.
14th.
14th and the roads is the 21st.
Yes.
So,
Is fire. And the
Yep.
21st is,
roads.
okay. Yep, okay.
So, but we can at least get an idea on the fire,
Oh,
even
yeah.
if there's some changes
Yeah,
between now
yeah.
and when he does it, that's,
Yeah. Absolutely.
just so that we actually know what the numbers are. I do, cause I helped, I didn't help Tommy at all, he did that himself. I still wanna meet with Tommy to make sure he's prepared for the budget committee.
Yeah.
Just, I want him to, I just want him to be prepared, I
Yeah,
don't want him to be not
yeah.
prepared.
Yeah.
So, what else?
Do you want me to talk about adopt a spot?
Oh, yeah.
Do we have anybody?
We had one inquiry. They wanted to know what the options were, and I know we had discussed the flower boxes out front, and then the flower beds. Did we have any other? I think there was one.
The transfer station,
The transfer station.
wouldn't you think?
Do we have anything up at the transfer station?
Well, we used to put flowers in the,
In between the, in back of the metal.
yeah, there was a little spot there. Where I wanted to put my sign that never happened, just saying.
What's on?
For my public notices, so that we have another place to put things, town notices. You know, remember you said you're gonna take care of that?
You know, you give me so much.
But no, right there, kind of the, you know,
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
you wanna write it down?
I still don't know what you're talking about.
When you first go in, if you go left to Tommy's,
Yep.
or you go straight, there's a little place there that has like, that's where the flowers used to be, right there, kinda, yeah, behind the metal, or, yeah. But it was right there, there's a place there.
Is there a grassy area there? Or is
Yeah,
it
there was. Is there still? You should know.
Well, it's all covered in snow right now.
Good answer, good answer. But
Mile?
yes, that's where the garden club used to put stuff, was right in there.
Your thing should be put right up in the middle.
Well,
Well, I mean, the other thought is you get some half whiskey barrels,
yeah,
and then you could put, and I was
absolutely.
even thinking you could put two on either side of the swap shop.
Yeah, I mean,
If-
you know,
yeah.
it's whatever anybody really wants to do.
Okay, so let them decide.
Well, I mean, they're providing, they're doing whatever they're doing, and then we're just gonna put up a little sign saying who's doing it or whatever.
So if they have a suggestion, they can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can-
yeah,
We're
absolutely,
wide open for that.
absolutely. Yeah, we gotta think of probably,
I mean, Jordan mentioned we ought to add in all these little spots that are intersections. that
some
have-
towns do that too.
But my thought was, he was talking about mowing, add that to the mowing list, because a lot of them aren't mowed, but my thought was, is some of those, I think there's at least one on Little River,
Mm-hmm.
that's a fairly kind of a triangle type of a grassy section that,
Yeah, sometimes
you know,
people in other towns, they put containers up and they put like
Right,
flowers and stuff
right.
in them
right,
too, so.
yeah,
You also have raised gardens at both fire stations.
yeah, that's already on the list.
Struggle to-
Did you put that on the list?
I had the
Yeah.
fire station.
Yeah.
Is there one?
Both stations.
Both stations?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, certainly if there's an intersection or whatever that they wanna do, you know, that has
Because
the room for that.
the one by my house, they used to have like tiger lilies somebody had planted there, and then I think they got ruined, but yeah, they would just grow up and, you know, they took the whole thing, so there wasn't much grass there, but,
Okay. report, which you guys are gonna talk about.
Mhm.
The other thing that, and I don't know, I mean, I'm just going through what I had for the town report. It doesn't look, and I could have missed it, do we have a committees and boards page? Cause a lot of the other towns, the town reports that you send.
No, I don't think we do, which we should.
Okay.
I think we
Cause
should.
I can put that in.
I think they should.
Yeah, we
Put a
should.
little report for the year or whatever.
Okay. And then I didn't see a section for roads, should we have a? I mean, do we need one or?
Well, he could write
Probably.
what happened or what he did
Yeah,
or
probably.
improvement, yeah, a little section.
Yeah.
And then I thought too, a lot of other towns have like the general assistance information, like how much was put out for the year, and then I thought we could probably even put information about the Verge Atkins, cause.
Yeah,
I didn't know if that was-
absolutely.
And again, the GA, that's just another way to get the word
Right.
out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yep, that was it for like those questions for that. So I can get, I am still waiting on a couple of reports, but I've gotten.
Did you get a lot of them from the legislatures?
Yep, I got most of them.
Okay, good.
And I emailed for American Legion. I just did that today. I just found an email for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're doing pretty good.
Good.
Sent another couple of second request emails today. So.
We were gonna go through drop dead dates too.
Yeah.
Cause I need your help with that, that's your, I just, cause I work better knowing a due date, knowing when I
Well,
gotta
you
get
have
stuff
pretty
done.
good drop dead dates already. You had for budget committee, those are.
Well, no, right, but I mean like ballot stuff, when we have to have everything done by, I mean, that's the, I don't want it to all of a sudden.
Well, it has to be done when the nomination papers are due, but I would suggest doing it a week in advance. Because that's when we have to turn all that over.
So,
Yeah.
so that's what's on this thing in orange, is that correct?
When nomination.
So nomination papers are due on
On April 13th, is that the Friday?
yes.
Yes. So I would say, as far as, cause budget committee is gonna be done way before then, right?
We'll be done in March, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, if we
Unless
can get,
unless the month of February is all a blizzard.
yeah. Could happen, I think it did last year, I remember that. So, yeah, I mean, if we said like, cause that's when we have to give everything, you know, done, voted, and have it prepared for.
So that's when we have to have all the
Yes.
all the referendums,
Oh, yeah.
everything,
Oh,
we have
yeah.
to have for
Oh, yeah.
the
Any
vote,
ordinances,
the referendum, we have to have everything done,
yes.
all the budgets are.
Everything has to be,
Okay.
and it's all, Jenny's gonna have to get it all, and then she'll give it to, Dale, but I would like to do it before that.
So do you wanna go for March 30th? That's 2 weeks
Sure.
beforehand.
Yeah.
I mean,
we should be able to do that.
I think we can get there, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't see why not.
absolutely, yes.
I mean, why not, you know, why only give it a week, let's give 2 weeks and we have tons of time in case
Yeah.
emergencies
Because we'll have to
happen
go through the
or.
whole ballot and see what we want where and. all
So
that
March
stuff.
30th is everything for the ballot has to be done.
And town report, I mean, we can make that one.
So the town report, though, when does that, because that's gotta go to the printer?
Well, we did it here,
Right, okay, but so when does that have to be ready to be given to people?
3 days before the election.
Oh, that's it?
But that's the law.
Thursday.
But I would try to get it done so that when we have our public hearing, we already have it. You know, that would be nice, cause everything's, will be in it. I'm just trying to find it right.
That would be
So is that like,
unusual too.
is that like the middle of May?
Yeah,
We should have be done with that maybe?
I contacted the school and see if we could get, I think I asked for May 16th because of absentee ballots. You wanna have the hearing, so it's close to absentee ballot time, so people,
Oh,
if
that's not on here. Why do I have town meeting? Oh, that's the vote date.
That's the vote.
Oh, gotcha.
but I did, email, the principal.
So the 16th is a Wednesday, is that what you wanted? Is that what you,
Well,
what you?
we did it on a Saturday, nobody came.
Right.
And you, I think, personally, I think you should do it around when absentee ballots are available, so if people wanna know about the ballot before they actually vote on it
Right.
for absentee, that they have the opportunity.
So 16th isn't too far beforehand? Is it within 30 days or something, or?
Well, the absentee ballots are due, or will be available 30 days.
Okay, so that's the 11th,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so you're saying shortly thereafter is when you wanted to do it?
Well, we
Do
should,
that week,
so
yep,
that,
Yep.
because a lot of people vote by absentee, and remember, this is the primary for governor and all that other stuff, so.
Right.
Which is gonna.
So it's just a matter of, do we wanna do it during the week, or do we wanna do it during the weekend? And you're saying that weekend, a lot of people show up.
Well, they didn't last year.
Yep.
I don't know why, but, I mean,
Have we done it on both?
Yep.
Have we done both weekdays, nights and weekends?
Mhm.
Do we have any idea of better participation, or? your
well, I
feeling?
only know by last year, I don't know about before that. Cause I think we always did it at night anyway, but they did it on a Saturday morning. I mean, I don't care, you can do
What time at night would you wanted to do it then?
Well, we couldn't do it before 6:30. Cause of the gym.
Right. So you do it at like 7? Is that what you do?
No, we can do it, I think we can get in there at 6. But 6, because they have, the Y care,
So we can start the meeting at 6:30?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
okay.
Alright, let's do it. So that's the 16th, and so you're waiting to hear back from school?
Yes,
about
yes,
the date.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Yes, that's not a,
So then we want town reports ready by then, is what you're saying?
well, I think that would be nice.
So then, why don't we use the 11th, which is when absentee ballots are due, are ready, as the date for that?
Yep.
And then if that still gives us the weekend and a couple of days for printing if we need it.
Right.
Hopefully we can already be done, or, so, alright. So it's March 30th for ballot stuff.
We have to dedicate the town report to who?
Well, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. in
So it's
executive.
May 11th.
Don't say anything
For-
now, she's listening.
Town report.
Well, we don't want the person to know, or before we ask them.
May 11th is town report.
Paul's a comedian.
I'm telling you.
He's a comedian, isn't?
So is that the only dates, is that the only deadlines we need right now, is
That
the
pertain
is
to
the
us.
ballot
That pertain
and
to
town
us.
report, yeah?
Yep.
That you can think of?
Yep.
Stuff that's coming up?
Yeah, cause nomination papers, that's not us.
No, so I'm just thinking of stuff that we have to have our act together. You know, we either have to have paperwork done or stuff, and
No, we just, we'll just
I
have
mean,
to.
still, that means we have to have all the ordinances that we're gonna put,
Yes.
we have to have all those
Yeah,
done.
cause we have to certify a copy to her. So-
Public hearings are gonna have to be done before then, if that needs to be done for an ordinance, so like the shoreline zoning one, they're gonna have to do that. So,
The planning board, right?
planning board, yeah.
I mean, we can cover it again at our hearing, but they gotta do everything they need to do.
That's right, yeah, they still have to have their own separate public hearing.
Yep.
I think they're meeting on Monday, so I'll be here for that too. I think they're talking about that as well. Alright. Okay. Anything else?
Nope. Wanna do public input?
Yeah. You got nothing?
Yeah.
First, Paul? No? Sure, public input.
I have a couple things to ask about. The first thing is, so I came in and talked to Jenny today, because I'm still fielding calls when they can't, and I'm talking in the, with wearing the hat of the appeals board chairman.
Okay.
And I'm still fielding calls,
From
applicants to the appeals board, who, when they can't get through to me through Jenny, are calling other people in the town office and having them call me and ask me to call them. And the town attorney was very specific that I should not be calling them
Right.
because there is no record of what is said over the telephone between the chairman and the applicant.
Yep.
So I'm trying to follow through with that, but
Okay.
I would appreciate it if you would maybe put a directive to your employees. If they want to talk to me about appeals board stuff, they have to do it in the meeting. They can't call me on the phone.
Okay.
But Jenny and I also talked about a checklist, because part of the problem is that there is no list anywhere of what they need, which we've already done for Jenny and I, but we were talking about doing a checklist to actually staple right to the application. So when they come in to pick up an application for the appeals board, there's a checklist of everything they need, because I'm not supposed to schedule them until their application is complete. But if they bring in an application and they leave it with Jenny, and then Jenny calls me to see if it's complete and I need other things, it's more time off of Jenny's day, because she then has to call and chase them to bring back 1 or 2 pages, and they're confused as to why they didn't get their appeal scheduled right away. So I think if Jenny and I talked about what needs to be done. I sent her an email and she has the first checklist, but I think if Jenny finishes up with that checklist, and then we can all take a look at it and say, yep, that's everything that we're gonna need, and then we can staple that right to the front of the appeals application, so that when they take it home, they know everything they need, and there should be no question on whether or not their appeal is complete.
No, that's fine. The only other thing I would recommend is you loop in Mark, the CEO,
Okay.
because he really should be the it's my feeling that he should be the head, even though he may not be the one that the reason why they're appealing it may be a planning board decision.
Correct.
Everybody else is volunteer.
Right.
So he's the only person that's on staff, and so, and if it's a project, then he should be aware of the different permits that they need copies of. And if you have a list, they're gonna go, well, what's this?
Right.
And again, they're gonna ask Jenny that, and she's gonna go, well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Right, yeah.
So, don't call Deborah.
So my point is that's great to have a checklist, but they should be going through that with the code enforcement officer,
Correct.
so he can say, no, that doesn't apply to you, or that does apply, or you need this, this, and this, but you don't need these.
Right,
And so
because
that's
some of the things that we ask for is if you were denied by the CEO or if you were denied by the planning board, we need to know on what grounds you were denied, because then we can.
Right, but again, just like the planning board, if it's a shoreline zoning, then it would be my interpretation that they would have a shoreline zoning application. They would deny that and write that on that application, do whatever they need to do to advise the person, but then that should go back to the person's file that is on, that's with the code enforcement officer.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of the,
Yeah, I agree.
everything kind of gets funneled through the code enforcement
I
officer.
think we should
so.
all be involved in taking a look at that checklist, and maybe he should have not only should they be on the application for appeals board, but perhaps Mark should have them right there, so when he tells them, like, I had to deny you, but you have to go to the appeals board.
Right, and I mean, and quite frankly, and again, I don't know how much the code enforcement officer can be involved, or whether that becomes, I know you can't be involved, but I don't know, some people have to, I think it's smart to advise people when they want to appeal and they want to spend $150 to do the appeal, but if there's not a snowball's chance, then you know what, they should be told that. So that they're not wasting their $150. That they're not wasting their $150.
I agree.
I mean, so that's the. I know you can't say that
because my board members may feel different.
I don't know. I'd have to find out legally whether the code enforcement officer can recommend, or just to let you know, I don't think you have a good chance of winning because X, Y, Z. So you may really want to seriously consider whether you want to even do that.
Do they have? So here's, and I know that there are different circumstances, but some of them, in order for a judge to take them seriously, they have to have gone through that process, and where we may not be able to overlook specifics in a shoreline zoning, a judge may find differently. But if they haven't been
No, they
through
have
the
to be,
process in
no,
town,
I'm not talking about that, I mean, my point is that if there is hoping that the appeals board is gonna grant them a variance or approve it,
right.
they have to know that's probably not gonna happen, and so if you wanna go that path, then you need to be expecting that you're gonna go all the way to court.
Correct, because
So
otherwise it's a waste of their time.
Otherwise, you're wasting your time, your energy, and your $150.
Right.
If you plan on going all the way to court, then yes, you have to go through that, yeah. So that's, I mean, but I don't know whether anybody's allowed to tell them that, or whether they're gonna, because then if they tell them that, they go, oh, well, so-and-so said I couldn't appeal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want that to come back to bite us,
That's true.
so that's the.
So, I mean, really, maybe it should be included right on the application that, if they're considering, going through the appeals process, they should seek the advice of legal counsel, or?
No, I mean, for the same reason, you don't wanna, on that stuff, you don't wanna mislead them, or.
Right.
So it has to be fairly clear, but I mean, a checklist of what they need, I think is fine.
Yeah, because
so
I mean, really, they're landowners and they're going through this, and they should be taking a moment to study themselves. I mean, you can't hold everybody's hand on everything.
I agree.
I mean,
There's a certain amount of user responsibility, that's correct.
Right, or maybe, I mean, as long as we know that they have had the chance to view the shoreline zoning, and they know, I mean, sorry that I don't mean to be rude to people, but they need to really check up on what they're
So the individual's calling you, or is the town calling you?
It was a town employee that telephoned me on behalf of an individual hoping to appeal, asking me to call them at their residence.
You can just send an email to
Yeah,
everybody.
that's fine.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I can't. I don't mean to leave them hanging with the applicant, but
I know you can. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope, but again, don't be surprised for people to look your phone up and find out from somebody else.
Well, if they called me, that's one thing, because I have the ability to be very verbal. But
nope, that's fine. Yeah, I will get the word out.
Yeah, and so the other thing that I wanted to ask you about is that I saw that the planning board is planning to do some work on the shoreline zoning ordinance. And so normally, as the appeals board, myself and my members should probably not be at a planning board meeting, because they're usually discussing things that may come to us. But in this instance, it wouldn't. And I was wondering if I might, if you as selectmen thought it would be okay for me to ask the appeals board members to come in here, because we're going to have to be working with that shoreline zoning and whatever changes they make as well. And personally, I would like to be informed beforehand. So.
Well, so there's two thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You can attend any planning board meeting you want. I mean, that's fine.
Well, I'm really not supposed to. But.
And there's going to be a public hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you can go to that too.
Mm-hmm.
The changes are all in chapter 1000, the guidelines.
Okay.
So they're all stuff that's supposed to be in there.
Okay.
So there's nothing that's being changed that I know of that is more restrictive, which we can do, than what the DEP guidelines are. So the sample, so basically if you want to know what the changes are, get chapter 1000, it's all there.
Okay,
it's
so
word for word chapter 1000.
There are parts in our shoreline zoning currently that are stricter than the state's.
As far as like 30% rule is what you're talking about? Right,
yes.
that is going back to the state's requirements.
So what I'm saying is that they're changing something that we really need to understand and know about. And I don't know if my other members will go.
My point is that that's in the guideline.
Right, okay.
So all the changes are in the guideline. If you got the chapter 1000 guideline, that will be our ordinance. If the people
so exactly as it says there. That's right. They're not really making any changes.
That's my point. That's what I
just I know, but sometimes you have to tell me twice, or sometimes seven times.
Yes, they're changing that. They're going back to the state requirement because, quite frankly, the DEP has a sample ordinance that basically they want all the towns to adopt.
Right.
Yes, we can become more restrictive to it, but if we take a section out, they say, no, you can't do that, you have to have that in there, and they give us conditional approval with an order. And that happened with ours.
Right,
It was left out by accident,
correct.
but they left, so we had to put that back in, which is one of the things that we're doing, we're putting it back in. Simple things. The shoreline zoning that we have on file, well, the guideline, it's a guideline, so it's for planning boards when they put together the thing. So the DEP put in notes, and it said no, blah, 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 blah. That wasn't to be in the ordinance, that was for the people that were devising the ordinance. Well, what we did, whenever we did it, we put those in. So I deleted those, those aren't supposed to be, they don't hurt, but there's no need for them to be in there. There were actually a couple that actually were more clarifying that I left, because if somebody's reading it, they may help understand. There was a whole timber harvesting section that was repealed, but we still left the whole section in there. It's repealed. It can be all deleted. So I deleted the whole section, I said, this section has been deleted. So it's things like that were changed, but it's all, so it's anyway, I went line by line and with the guidelines, because we had a consent agreement with a person where we went back to use what the guidelines, the 30% rule. So that we went back and used that versus 1,000 square feet, because and our attorneys advised that there's a question whether or not we're allowed to deviate from what the DEP says. There's a question about law that whether we can.
Okay.
So the other side is becoming more restrictive. We have nothing to back that up. So shoreland, the other half of that word is zoning.
Right.
Most of the times you need a comprehensive plan to do zoning. And the reason is the comprehensive plan gives you that legal backbone, which is why you did your zoning. We don't have a comprehensive plan. So if our comprehensive plan said, we want to protect, special emphasis protect these two natural areas. There's one up by Soul Shores Road in that area, there's two sections that are habitat, that are critical habitats by DEP. They are this section up here, which is like a resource protection zone, and then it's over here in the bog area. There's and that's because they have some wildlife that's endangered and rare in the state. So those are kind of two areas that
Where is that other one? Is it by Soul Shores Road?
It's over here.
Well, I don't know where over there is. I can't see.
Well, I don't know. That's Soul Shores right here.
Oh, okay.
It's right here. So it's kind of, it's not really, but so we could maybe make it a bigger resource protection zone around that if we wanted, if the comprehensive plan said we want to protect those. That would give us the backbone to then use shoreline zoning to protect, give those more protection. But we need that comprehensive plan to do that. We don't have a comprehensive plan, so how can we, where's that backbone to get more restrictive on the shoreline zoning? We don't have it. So other than it just being one person who does, or I decide, I want to protect those, so I'm gonna write that. Who's the,
Right.
I mean, who am I? I mean, yes, the people vote on it, but I mean, quite frankly, are people gonna read that shoreline zoning ordinance when they vote for it? Probably
They're
not.
supposed to.
I know they are, but but the reality
It's their responsibility.
The reality is that, so that's why it's really whatever the guidelines are. That's why I said you can go,
just go and get those and learn.
It's not gonna deviate from the guidelines. Because we have to be there.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of like a rewrite, and I was going like, I'm gonna handed it 2 days before.
There were some sections. There was some formatting stuff. I mean, literally. I mean, just simple stuff that this section was a different font than this section, which just drives me crazy. Or it's 1A and then something, and then this section is A1. Totally different.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of it. Some of it was formatting stuff, which really is not substance. So again, it's just but it's all set. And I know Paul went through it, and we modeled both of those. So you shouldn't have. I guess that's a very long-winded way of saying you shouldn't have to go to the planning board to find out the changes.
So I can just
look at that. If you want to read
and
that, you can watch the video. You can go to the public hearing, because the public hearing really isn't it's a public hearing about an ordinance. It's not a planning board meeting per se.
Right.
So you could go to that public hearing. The public hearing has a start and an end. When it ends, then you leave.
Well, and usually at a public hearing, like the appeals board wouldn't have any input if they were changing it.
Right.
But now that I know that they're not, we shouldn't have to worry about it. Alright, well, that was all I had for you guys, and I appreciate you listening, and thank you very much, Jenny, for your help today, appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, do we have anything else before we jump in?
I don't think so. Do we, Jenny?
What are we doing here? We're doing,
Is Rodney, is he out there or you don't know?
Why is he supposed to come?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think he'd
well, he
come in?
thought he was gonna come, right?
I thought he had asked what time the meeting was,
Did he
So-
come?
but I can double check and see if he's out there, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Just make sure nobody's out there waiting for us or something. I'm just trying to think of what. No?
Good.
Good answer.
Trying to figure out what to use. What are your thoughts?
Well,
Kind of one of those that's.
suspension, labor, consultant, legal counsel.
Yes, I could say confidential, but it's not really, because that's really more legal stuff.
Yeah. Just something I don't know.
I'm just gonna say that.
I don't know what else to say.
It's not, per 1 MRSA 4056F. Alright, second it?
Second it.
And
All in
those in
favor? Yay.
Okay.